In the newborn oceans, life began to weave its first great tapestry. What once was a chemical sea now shimmered with color and purpose. Tiny architects, algae, cyanobacteria, and stromatolites spread across the shallow coasts, capturing sunlight, releasing oxygen, and building the foundations of ecology. Each cell, though small, was part of something vast. Together, they formed invisible cities beneath the waves. The first reefs were born not of coral as we know it, but of microbial mats layered over centuries. These living carpets trapped sediment, built towers, and turned lifeless seabeds into gardens of light. Here, chemistry became community. Each species played a role. Some produced oxygen, others fed on waste, others fixed nitrogen into nourishment. For the first time, life began to recycle itself, turning decay into renewal. This was the beginning of the biosphere, a self-sustaining network where every action echoed through the system. When microbes exhaled, the atmosphere changed. When algae bloomed, the planet cooled. When life grew, Earth evolved with it. Even the simplest creatures shared a silent harmony, a balance between taking and giving, between growth and decay. Over millions of years, the ocean became a living machine, its currents moving nutrients, its tides carrying seeds of evolution. And in its endless rhythm, Earth found a steady heartbeat. From these humble beginnings, the planet learned an extraordinary lesson: that survival was not about domination, but connection. This was the first web of life, fragile, intricate, and alive. A pattern so perfect that 4 billion years later, we still live within its design. For billions of years, life knew only the sea. It drifted, bloomed, and breathed beneath the waves, a world contained within water's gentle cradle. But change was stirring on the shores. The continents, once barren and red with rust, began to call. Tiny colonies of algae crept toward the light, anchoring themselves in tidal pools. They endured the sting of sunlight, the dryness of wind, and the crushing silence of open air. Each attempt was a struggle, each failure a lesson. Then, one day, life found a way. Cells learned to hold water within themselves, to weave walls thick enough to resist the air. Pigments shielded them from ultraviolet light, and the first plants took root. The world began to change color. What was once a planet of stone and sea slowly turned green. Forests of moss and fern spread across the land, exhaling oxygen, cooling the air, and feeding the soil with life. Soon, new travelers followed. Creatures that once crawled along the seafloor ventured ashore to feed, to breathe, to explore. Lungs replaced gills, limbs replaced fins, and evolution took its first steps on dry ground. The conquest of land was not a battle, it was a symphony of adaptation. Each new form built upon the last. Each failure paved the way for something greater. Within a few 100 million years, the land thrived with forests, rivers, and roaming beasts. Earth had transformed into something entirely new, a living planet. For the first time in cosmic history, life had not only survived its world, it had begun to shape it. Over time, the chaos of creation gave way to harmony. The forests breathed in what the oceans exhaled. The clouds carried the memory of the sea, and rain returned it back to the soil. Earth had learned to speak in cycles. Each element, air, water, rock, and life, began to move in rhythm, bound together by invisible feedback loops. When carbon rose, plants grew faster. When oxygen increased, fires burned brighter. Every change called forth a response, balancing the planet like a living heartbeat. This was the Gaia mechanism, the idea that Earth behaves like a single, self-regulating organism. The atmosphere became its lungs, the oceans its bloodstream, the forests its skin, and life its collective consciousness. Even destruction played a role. Volcanoes released gases that warmed the world. Ice reflected sunlight to cool it again. Coral reefs built barriers that softened the waves. Bacteria in the soil fixed nitrogen, feeding the next generation. Nothing existed alone. Every organism, from the smallest microbe to the tallest tree, was part of a vast living network, a planet that maintained its own equilibrium. Through this system, Earth protected itself. When the sun grew hotter, clouds thickened to dim the light. When life consumed too much carbon, volcanoes replenished it from below. It was a dance, delicate, endless, and guided by no single mind, yet orchestrated by life itself. In the grand scale of the cosmos, Earth was more than a home. It was a living being, an organism of oceans and light, breathing through time. And within that breath, every creature, including us, was a cell in something far greater. Even the strongest living systems must endure pain. For Earth, survival has always meant transformation. Across billions of years, catastrophe has struck again and again. Volcanoes blackened the skies, continents tore apart and collided. Meteorites crashed from the heavens, turning sunlight into shadow. Each time, the planet trembled and life came close to silence. Entire species vanished, forests burned, oceans boiled, and the air itself turned against its children. But through every extinction, the heartbeat of the world continued. After fire came rain. After ice came bloom. Each collapse cleared the canvas for evolution to paint anew. The greatest of these rebirths came after the Permian extinction, when more than 90% of all life disappeared. Yet from that darkness emerged the seeds of everything to come. Coral reefs rebuilt. Forests returned. And from the ashes, the first dinosaurs rose. It was as if Earth had pressed the reset button of creation, not to erase, but to renew. These cycles of destruction and rebirth are not failures of life, they are the rhythm of the planet itself. Just as wounds close and bones heal, Earth, too, remembers how to mend. Every mountain, every drop of rain, every breath we take is proof that this world has died 1,000 times and lived again. For billions of years, Earth had been alive, breathing, growing, healing, yet unaware of itself. Life filled the seas, covered the land, and shaped the sky. But the planet had no eyes to see, no mind to wonder. Then, something extraordinary began. In the restless rhythm of evolution, a few living forms developed new ways to sense the world. They saw light, they felt warmth, they heard sound, and slowly, perception became thought. The first nervous systems flickered like sparks, tiny circuits of awareness connecting life to its surroundings. From those sparks came memory. From memory came curiosity, and from curiosity came consciousness. For the first time, life looked back at itself. The planet that had created eyes was now being seen through them. The world that had birthed minds was now being imagined by them. Through animals, forests, and eventually humankind, Earth began to think. Every thought, every dream, was the planet remembering what it had made. We are not separate from this world, we are its voice, its way of reflecting upon itself. And as we look upward, beyond the clouds, beyond the blue, our gaze carries the memory of oceans and stone. We are Earth, looking for its reflection among the stars. Perhaps out there, on some distant world, another planet has also learned to dream. And perhaps, one day, those dreams will meet